it's the Cursing Seamstress again for a very quick video. I made something today that was kind of interesting. My daughter had wanted me to make one of those really loose sheer sort of tops for her that are not shaped for, fitted to the body. They're just loose, the big neck and the big sleeves, and then kind of loosely hangs down. She's tall, so she's 6 feet tall and has a hard time finding clothes sometimes. So I have an acquaintance who gives me fabric. He buys the contents of storage bins when they're auctioned off for non-payment, and so he brings me fabric because he can't sell it very easily, which is unfortunate. And so I have tons of fabric, a lot of it which he has given me, and this was a part of the stuff that he had given me, and I just want to show it to you. It's extremely sheer. It's see-through. So you would have to wear something under it. I don't know how much you can tell how see-through it is, but it's a very pretty pattern. They're not really my colors. It's a yellow and then a green and black and then white. So it's an attractive print. So I had probably 3 yards of it, and I decided to see if this particular pattern would fit on the fabric, and it did. I had washed the fabric. It washed up really well. I think it's a polyester. I don't think it's a silk, although it has a feel of silk. And the pattern that I picked out was something really basic. This is it. McCall's was having a sale, and it was $3.99, and I got it. It's an easy pattern, and the one that I made was the one in the center, the orange one, which is very basic. It's 3 pieces. There's a neck facing, a long strip for the neck facing, and then there's a front and there's a back. So what I wanted to point out is that the difficulty in sewing with sheer fabric, it shouldn't be underestimated. I would never buy this fabric. I would never pay for this fabric, but since it was given to me, I wanted to use it and not waste it. I think the pattern actually did well, and I'll show you the blouse. It came out fine, but it's not worth sewing with, and maybe there's something that you can do with a real sheer fabric to make it easier. Certainly you want a thinner needle, probably a 10. I think I probably had an 11 in there. And the only place that I had difficulty was sewing over maybe 3 or 4 layers. This pattern was a neck that, rounded, that I needed to put the facing on. And the good thing with the fabric is it doesn't fray very easily. I think I would have used probably go down to a size 10 needle from whatever the size needle I had. I was using whatever needle was in my machine. And I found that reminds me of, if you know of the store Joann's Fabrics, I think they're pretty much nationwide. They have a really nice online PDF for needle sizes, and you can just go to Joann's and or do a search for needle sizes, and it is a handy guide that tells you the size needles that you want to use for a variety of things. It also tells you that you should change needles every time you start a new project. I never do that. I use the same needle for multiple projects, and I really don't get into a lot of trouble with that. I watched a video recently on YouTube where a woman said that she used a universal needle for everything. Embroidering, for knits, wovens, blue jeans, and it worked fine. And I actually went out today to Walmart and bought some universal needles, and just reading on this PDF, it talks about how a universal needle can be used for knits, wovens and knits. But what you want to do is watch the size. So I thought that was interesting. So I just want to, if you want to share something about sewing with sheer fabrics, please do. The difficulty I had probably was the shifting of the fabric when you're cutting on the fold and you're working with a double-sided fabric. You're trying to cut it out, pin it down. Every time you pin, the fabric is wanting to shift. The bottom layer is wanting to shift. The top layer is wanting to shift. I found that really difficult to work through. The blouse did come out well. The other difficulty was sewing around the curve with a very sheer fabric, turning in that very thin hem, turning it under once and then turning it under again. Of course, I did use my iron and I pinned all along the way. So I'll show you how it came out. And if you want to share some tips that you have for sewing with thin fabrics, let me know. Okay, I wanted to show you the blouse. This is it. I don't know how much you can see. It's a rounded bottom, and the rounded bottom comes all the way up to make the sleeves. There's stitching here to make the sleeve, just a single line on this side, and then there is the same here, just a single line of stitching from here down to the under the arm. Again, you need to wear something under this. A nice wide neckline, and it's a pretty top. So I hope she could wear it. The neckline actually came out really well. I'll show that to you up close. That's the underside. I really didn't care about the color of my thread very much. I think I had a white bobbin in, and then the top thread was a gray sort of color. So the neckline was actually easy. Again, the difficulty was with the shifting of the fabric, sewing around the curve, a little tricky, but not so bad. Sewing around the bottom, it actually came out pretty nicely. I really didn't have any puckers or anything like that. So the pattern's not bad. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a nice, easy pattern, again, you're going to need to use a finer type fabric and not a heavyweight, a lightweight fabric. But I would be very wary of using something so sheer that that shifting problem would cause a big issue. This is the back of the pattern. Again, for the one that I used, it was only 3 pieces, and the pattern number is M6510. The sizes I got were extra small, small, and medium. So I encourage you to try the pattern. It's a nice pattern. I think it would be extremely easy with the right kind of fabric. And I encourage you to leave comments below, and I appreciate your watching. Also, if you're looking for some free embroidery designs for a sewing machine, I have a website, cursingseamstress.com, and I have some free downloads. They're all in VIP format, but there are plenty of software programs out there that are free that allow you to change the format to that of the format that you use for your embroidery machine. So some of the designs have been tested, some have not. So I would love to hear back if you want to try the design, and click on the email and send me whatever information, send me photos or whatever, let me know how the design turned out. I would love it. So again, it's cursingseamstress.com, and I will see you shortly. Thanks for watching.